Hello. Today we're going to go over how to use Google Forms in collecting data and in using a systems management form. So I am a school counselor, or more specifically, a head counselor, and I use Google Forms along with Google Sheets to populate information for my Google Forms. And so I use Google Forms for things like academic referrals, like discipline referrals, student check-ins, and many more things. Wellness referrals. We at my school, we have about 20 to 30 forms, and all of them are connected to this one roster. So we also have it, or I also set it up so that all of those 20 or 30 forms are populated by this one roster, so that when we do get a new student or when we lose a student, I just have to update one form, and then all of the other 20 forms are automatically updated. And so I use that through Form Ranger, and Form Ranger is an add-on through Google Forms. First and foremost, I'm going to start with our roster. And so how I have it is that there is a tab for student, a tab for counselor, case manager, and what I did here was I put the AP signups, because I did set up a form for our AP signups. But in my real school one, there is a list of all of the teachers and their emails, and also the administrators, and also all of the classes, and so on and so forth, just because that one form does populate forms for 30 other or 20 other, that one Sheets document does populate information for those 20 forms. And so this video is going to just go over a more simplified manner of what I do, but basically it's still the same thing of what I do when we actually do have our 1,300 kids. It's literally the same process. And so the first thing that you want to do is you just want to make sure that you have this one Sheets document with the student name, their grade, their email address, and also a columns list of the actual individual grade levels. And then you can go on over to, and we are using this for the academic referrals. And so you can go on over to Google Forms, and then you will be able to automatically take in that information. And so this is a copy of the form that I created for my school counseling practice. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use Form Ranger to get that information that we have over in the Sheets document over to the Google document. And so what we do is we go over to add-ons and then just go to Form Ranger. I'm assuming you will not have the add-ons Form Ranger, or excuse me, the Form Ranger add-ons already on. And so in order to do that, you just go over to the menu, or the three dots, and then go down to add-ons, get a Form Ranger, and then you're there. And so once you have that, you go over to that selected add-on, click Start, and then you are just going to match up the column names that are in the Google Sheets document with the information here. And so we see that there's a section for the 9th grade, because these titles are connected to are like the connecting factor in Form Ranger. And so I want to say, hey, for all of my 9th graders, I want to pull from the 9th grade list that is in the Google Sheets form. And so, or excuse me, the Google Sheets document. So what I did was I clicked on populate from range, and then I hit the plus button for range. And just because I'm recording, it's taking a little bit longer than usual. But for when it does pop up, you can either look for the actual document, or you can do what I did, and I just typed in a word of the title, and so now I see it over here. So I'm just going to double click it to select it, and then I'm going to tell it exactly which sheet I want it to pull the information from, and also which column. And so this is the ninth graders. And so I do want this. I do want to make sure that it stays in the student tab. And then I want it to specifically pull from the ninth grade column. And now I see all of my ninth graders here. So then I'm just going to click next. And then I do have to select a range name. I just name it ninth, or whatever you choose to name, you can put that in there. And then I'm going to select save and populate question. And so it will take maybe, I don't know, like 5 to 30 seconds to do it for, I'm assuming you're probably going to have about 300 to 500 ninth graders or so. And so it'll take about that same time for it to populate. I'm just recording at this time, so that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. And then you just do the same thing for the other grades. Again, it's clicking on student name, and then checking off populate from range, and clicking the plus button. And then you are going to tell Form Ranger specifically which document that you want to pull the information from, which tab you want to pull from, and also which column you want to pull from. So again, it has students, and then now I'm on the 10th grade. So I'm going to select that I want to pull from the 10th graders. I see all of my 10th graders selected over here. So then I'm going to do next, and then go and save, and then do the same thing for the 11th and the 12th grade. And then once we are done with that, then I'll have my whole document completed. But I don't want to just continue to do the same thing, so I'm just going to show you what has actually been done. So we see here that we did the 9th and the 10th grade. So we have 9th grade over here, and then we see that that all the 9th graders have been brought in, and all the 10th graders have been brought in. And once you have all of the student information connected, then you want to go to the student's academic counselor. And so we go and do the same thing. And so this is why it was important for us to have all that information in the Google Sheets document, so that we can still go and use that same document, but we are going to ask that it pull from the counselor section. And so now, instead of keeping it on student, I'm going to change it to counselor. And then I am just going to have it select the counselor information. So for counselor, that is just going to be the name. And so I'm going to leave that there. And then I'm going to name this counselor. And then the counselor information is going to be populated. And so, long story short, we're just going to do the same thing for all of the categories, so that all of the information is populated. And so, yes, I do understand that counselors probably are maybe in a great big school are about 8 at most. But also, this is good to use because at large schools there can be like 4,000. So this Form Ranger is extremely useful, and even for a school like mine, I don't want to write 1,300 kids in each time, and also I really don't want to go through 1,300 kids to make sure that the information is correct. And so this is why I find this very useful, and also putting in this information so diligently as I'm doing, I only have to do this one time for each form. And so after that, it does automatically populate so that I do not have to worry about that again. And let me just show you how that happens after I finish doing this. And this is counselor email. And so to set it up for it to automatically populate, it's this question over here. It is still populating the counselor email information, so that's why it's not allowing me to go. So there we go. So now what I did was I just for for luck's sake I just put this on for it to update or repopulate upon submission. But what's really important is to make sure that it updates every hour. And so that is selected. So then now for when we do lose a student and I go over to, to this document, or if we have to replace a counselor, teacher, anything like that. But most likely it's for when the beginning of the year comes and all of our students move up a grade. We have to update teachers and so on and so forth. That will automatically populate once we update this information. So that saves a boatload of time. And then once we have all of this completed, then we can just share the link with our faculty and staff, and then they'll be able to just go over to that link, and then all the information will already be updated for the new school year, for the new whatever form you are creating. So once everything is put together and populated, we can share this link with your faculty and staff. And so what they will see is they are going to be able to choose what grade the student is in, so that they're only going to be able to select from that population. And so in my experience, mostly just 9th and 10th graders receive referrals. So I'm just going to click on the 10th grader, and then I am just going to select the name. Let's just say it was Chang. And then I'm just going to answer the questions. And so what I have here is that we have a school that the counseling department is divided by grade. And so we have a 10th grader, so Obama is her counselor. And so I'm going to select his name, and then I'm also going to select his email. And so the reason why I do this is because once a teacher submits the referral, the counselor gets an email, the case manager gets an email if they have one, and also me as the dean, I will get an email for them. But this specifically is an academic referral. So for academic referrals, I just have them go to the counselor and to the case manager as an FYI. And so let's just say if Cho has a case manager, she is in the 10th grade. And so then we're going to select Catherine Johnson. And so with this, I know that I have this set up so that case managers are by grade, but I did that just to keep it simple. What I do in my real life practice is I actually have a link to the document that has all the students listed, and then next to their name is their case manager and the email. So you can have that there instead of here. And then the person can select the case manager's email, and then just fill out the referral. And so let's say I am completing this. C.edu, and let's say I am the teacher, and let's see, first period. So I'm basically saying, inputting all this information and then giving my information, my name, my email address, saying that that I am the closeout teacher, and that that this situation happened in first period, and then I am able to answer all the questions for the actual referral. So I can just go over here and say that that she looked tired again today. So she looked tired again today and told me that she was not getting a lot of sleep lately. Please check in. And so I just use this example just because it's not as egregious as a wellness referral, like she was, trying to cut herself in class, or she was crying or something like that. This is just she habitually is falling asleep, or she is is feeling tired. Like something is happening that is having a negative effect on her academics. That is an academic referral. So, and then we also have it. I also have a different form for a wellness referral, and so that, of course, means that she would need to to get some more emotional support, like more hardcore emotional support. And she is also not beating someone up, so that would not be a discipline referral either. And then you can just have whatever questions that you want to ask the teacher, and then the teachers can go in and put in more information so that you have a better understanding of what the situation is. And so let's just say best case scenario that me as a teacher, I have already gone in and spoken to Cho about this. I have and I have also contacted home to see what is going on. And also, since we work as a team, I have, as a teacher, I have already let the parents know that that the school counselor is going to be getting in contact with them. And then, so what interventions have happened, and that is going to be phone. So I spoke to the students and called home and spoke to mom. And then, does this concern the personal well-being of the student? Yes. And so I have, I specifically have this here because at my school site, we have a coordinated care team. So the wellness coordinator does have access to the academic referrals. And so when someone does select yes, then this will automatically send this academic referral not only to the school counselor and the case manager, but it is going to send an email to the wellness coordinator as well as an FYI. That does not mean that this is a wellness referral. This is just an FYI for if and when a wellness referral comes in, the wellness coordinator will be able to to get that information. So does this referral concern academic ability of the student? No. And not a concern of academics, and definitely not a concern of attendance, since the student has been there habitually, and we don't need to select that part either. And so what happens is that after the teacher goes and submits the response, then they get this confirmation here automatically, and then they also get an email of the confirmation, and then they are also able to either submit another response, or they can go and edit the response, and then everyone will get the update. And so that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.